Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing tonight? I am your host, Aaron Hurd, and I am coming to you this week from our little hometown down here in Bristol. But this week, they're headed up to Watkins Glen, and we're going to look at every single car, the paint schemes that they're going to run for the Glen, and do it in the order that they finished coming out of last week's race, and maybe a little bit of what's going on. But also, let me tell you, if you're new to the channel or just I haven't mentioned this on the channel possibly in quite a while, I wrote my doctoral dissertation about the leadership of NASCAR throughout its history. So I have extensively studied the whole 76 years of NASCAR's existence, how its management has ran, how it's ran its company, and how the France family even ran their companies before that and lived. So I have some inside information, or not inside information, but a lot of information that I think could be beneficial to you, and I want to use that to talk to you tonight about this charter situation that has really cranked up because of the two teams who decided not to sign their charters. But we'll get into that later. Folks, hang with me here. We're going to check all the cars and see what's going down. Hope to hear from you in some of the comments. Hold with me just a second. Oh, I'm telling you what, we had a race last week. I mean, the first part of it, I don't know, it was a little draggy there. They were counting out some laps. But when it got going, man, we saw some action happening. And honestly, I just did not see the 22 coming from where he did. I thought a whole different thing was going to go down before we had restarts. Man, another win for Joey. Right in the playoffs, you know, and it's every other year. If you don't know these stats, Joey Logano has won the Cup now every other year. He's due this year. He's the first guy to get to move on to the next thing. I'm not saying it's always going to happen. It's just the pattern that's been going on. I'm just delivering the message if you don't like Joey. Here's a man, second place after he won the first Atlanta. He's got something figured out there 100%, doesn't he? And he's re-signed. Everybody was worried. Even after the Atlanta win at the start of the year, I heard so many people saying, are they going to let him go because they got SVG, they got Zane Smith? I'm like, they're not going to let Suarez go. There's no way it's going to happen. And re-signed now for multiple years. I don't know how many. I don't know that they even released that, but hot car. Third place, Ryan Blaney. Man, wrong button. Ryan, again, I thought this guy knows how to drive these plate tracks. You know, tell me if I'm wrong. But I've been at several, at least two that he's won plate tracks of his wins. And, man, I thought for sure. I'm a bit of a Blaney fan, so, you know, excuse my enthusiasm. But the dude, he's right on the edge. He's coming alive here. He might have something to show these guys in the playoffs. Top three starting it out. Ford, super strong. I know Ford is got the package to set up to go to Atlanta, but I did not think it was just going to be that packed with those two up there. And here's the 20. New look for him this week. Chainsaws. It kind of looks like a chainsaw blade wrapped around a tree somehow. I'm not sure. And a chainsaw up there. If you're sleeping on C-Bell, you've made a bad mistake. Christopher Bell consistently getting to the very end of the playoffs. Here he is again, running up front. People don't talk about him like they talk about Larson or they talk about Chase or anybody. It's like he's a sleeper or something, but he is one of the strongest repeated dangers in the Cup Series. But he just doesn't get the hype. Maybe it's his laid-back demeanor that he has himself. I don't know. You tell me in the comments. Anybody met him? I've never met him. He's one of the drivers I haven't got to talk to. If you've ever met Bell, does he talk a lot? Is he just a quiet guy? Let me know. Say something down there. Hey, 48 coming alive. Not going anywhere, they say. Everybody ready to call his career dead, say it's over, that there's no possible way they're going to keep him in the car. No. Right there, comments, look at this. Bowman inspired. No, it won't happen. Rick himself, Big Rick, he says, guaranteed. Jeff Gordon as well, guaranteed that Alex Bowman in the 48 for the rest of his contract, which my understanding is 2 years. So the rumors that he's going away, they have stepped up and said explicitly, will not happen. Could they change their mind? Absolutely. Isn't that kind of what happened to Casey Kane? Sort of. It's a Casey Kane type situation, isn't it? Except, they didn't have the big injury like Casey did. I had to pull him out. 45, another strong contender. Man, just kicking it constantly. Denny Ham knew exactly what he was doing when he got this guy loaded up. It didn't matter what it cost. And here's a good place. We're at a 2311 here. 2311 car did not sign the charter agreement because the reports are from everyone that it was sent to them about 5 o'clock on a Friday, and they were asked to sign it and return it by midnight that same night. No time for your lawyers to look over it and everything. It was tons of pages. It was a whole book. Listen, let me tell you, as someone who has extensively researched this topic, the France family owns NASCAR 100%. They will not give it away. They don't have to. They hold all of the power. This has happened before. 2 big brush-ups throughout NASCAR's history have seen this kind of thing happen. The fact that we have the Drivers' Council now honestly blew my mind when it first happened. I couldn't believe that NASCAR was leaning so much this day and age with Brian France and now especially with Jim France into letting the teams have so much power over what's going on. In the olden days, Big Bill would just tell you to leave. Big Bill told Richard Petty and most of the Cup field to leave when they didn't like his Talladega track. Listen, he knew he owned the series. You are not going to win a Cup race unless you are registered for a NASCAR Cup race. It's just the simple way it is. And if you, just like Rick Hendrick said, he said, well, I might as well sign it. We got some of the things we wanted. It's more than they ever had. He's been here since 1984. He knows good and well he's clearing a profit, or Rick's so rich, that he doesn't have to clear a profit. And a lot of these guys, that's usually the way it is with professional sports teams. You don't get too many professional sports teams that are owned by poor people. Maybe the Packers. I don't know. But that's besides the point. It's just because you can buy stock in them. No hate to the Packers. Listen, I'm telling you, though, there is no way that I see NASCAR having the leverage. And I know people are saying, Michael Jordan's here. He's got lawyers. Yes. But this is rode out in such a way that the drivers, the teams, are contracted labor. They pay a fee to enter the race. They don't get to make a decision. Really, what it comes down to, it's not so much that they want something. They just want more money. Who doesn't want more money? And they feel like they're putting together all the cars that make the money. Of course, they want more money. But at the same time, as far as NASCAR and the France family is concerned, when you ask for more money that's a takeaway from all the money that they've already had, you're just getting part of the business. They're giving up part of their intake, the part of their business to these people. So as far as they're concerned, they have the power to hold out. As far as they're concerned, the race will still happen if Denny's 45 and 23 doesn't show up. That's the honest truth, and they've let that happen before. And that's the strong point I think we have to come to terms with. The France family, Bill France Sr., started NASCAR. He got everyone just like this now that was involved in racing and got them to sign off on him being the head. He has the rights. The family still owns it. They still run it, and they're going to run it for generations. They're bringing up people. All right, enough off my soapbox there. Let's move on to the next car. Here's my boy Kyle Busch. Oh, man, another time when I thought he's going to win it. He can do it. It's going to happen. But nope. Oh, Chase, running the blue this week. Listen, this week there was a post about why they keep changing the color from blue to white. If it's just a Napa week, which is the primary scheme, the short said, the blue is what is ran. But if Napa decides they want to run and show one of their brands, like their brake pads or what have you, an individual thing, then they change to the white. So there is a thought to the madness. We tried to figure out the start of the year if it was like the 48. You had a day scheme and a night scheme that was going on last year, but no, it's all about the product placement. Absolutely. And Matt, I see Matt online talking about the IndyCar split. Yeah, absolutely. And listen, this happened back in the day. Richard Petty and a bunch of guys got together and went and tried to start something. It's harder than it looks. At the same time, even Bruton Smith, who owns Charlotte and all the SMI tracks, or did, his Marcus, his son, is running it now. They tried to sanction their own races. They tried to be a competitor in NASCAR, and Bill squashed them. Listen, the France family, I'm not saying they're innocent. Don't get me wrong. They are powerful business people that take what they can get and take what they want and know what they're doing. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's their business that their family built. We're just all living in the world. And honestly, they'll let people go and try to make another series because they know how much investment there is in it. And plus, trying to get like a TV deal, which is where all the money comes from, is media rights. It's a hard thing to do. We can all look at Tony Stewart and the guys over at SRX that lasted a couple seasons. That was trying to go in minimal effort, came apart. Yeah, Curtis Turner, lifetime band. Definitely. And finally, he got back in because he went and kissed some butt and paid some money, and they're okay, yeah. But yeah. Listen, there's no mercy. It's their show. If you don't like it, just go home and take your glove with you. They'll keep playing ball. The number 2 car going to a road course, folks. If this guy's going to make it further in this playoff, right here, this is it for him. This is his big shot. He could win another race. This is supposed to be his specialty. But I got to be honest with you. I just ain't feeling the vibe. I just ain't feeling it. Joey won in the Auto Trader in his 22. Back to Auto Trader here. I like the orange better than I do the primary blue, but man, I don't know. I just don't feel the 2 doing something. Tyler online on Facebook says the 2 and the 21 are the championship 4. Well, of course, we've said that all year. I mean, the stats show the 2 and the 21 will be in the championship 4. I'm also partial. And listen, I posted this earlier in the week. Please agree with me because I think it's obvious to everyone. Even though Todd Gilliland did not qualify for the playoffs, he'll win the Cup, right? I mean, obviously. You got to... Okay. Bad dad joke. It's not even a dad joke, just a stupid joke. Anyway, here's somebody who's fired. Have you heard? Not coming back. Big talk today. Colig Racing going to take their Circle car and give it to somebody else, and you'll never guess who it is. Ty Dillon. They're saying Ty's going to be able to come out of the old truck series. He's the prime candidate. Of course, he was the prime candidate to take over the 16, right? And that didn't happen. He got it for 5 races. But supposedly AJ's definitely going back, but supposedly there's another look at Ty Dillon, and that may be because of the association between Colig Racing and RCR and a kickback on a little bit of, we can get you parts cheaper if you can put Ty in the car for your sponsor, things like that. Now, these are how deals are done, I think you're right. Online people are saying Ty's an upgrade to Hemrick, and I think you're right. I think Hemrick just Xfinity, he's one of those guys. He's like a David Green, or I don't know who else. I just keep thinking the Nesquik car all of a sudden, or Johnny Benson. He's better off in the X Series. I think that's where he can shine and maybe do something. Speaking of Justin Haley, maybe he could shine in the X Series.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy.
He's on the edge of greatness and on the edge of making it, on the edge of getting a giant deal offered to him. Supposedly, everybody. Rick wants him. Rick Hendrick. Who knows? Supposedly, he's the prime candidate for the 7, but he says he won't leave Rick Ware no matter what, which I could possibly believe because, honestly, you're kind of driving an RFK car, and at the moment, and unless you're going to Rick Hendrick's stable, an RFK car is a pretty good car, honestly. I mean, it doesn't have the setup RFK first time does, but a B car is pretty good. It's kind of ugly, but whatever. Hey, Busch Light, just the standard scheme. They've already released this scheme for next year, for 2025. It looks almost the same, except the roof is blue instead of white. They still have the Camaro nose on it, even though the Camaro is supposed to be canceled this model year by Chevrolet. And I did notice on the back end, what little bit I can see, Chevrolet is wrote hugely across the back bumper. So I think that's going to be something next year we're going to see is just a giant Chevrolet word like you would see on a tailgate right across the bumper, right under the license plate. Brace yourself for that. Brace yourself also for having to hit the bathroom and wonder what happened to your stomach. Oh, old El Paso taco meat. Oh, you get old Ricky down here slinging taco meat. You're talking about diarrhea for days, folks. Oh, food poisoning is coming to town. Mexican food and Ricky. There ain't nothing that ain't going to tear your stomach up. Oh, but pretty good finish for old Rick. You got to give him that, right? Even though it was Atlanta, plate track kind of. Ugly car. I don't care for it. I do like that they painted a cactus on it, though. I'll give them that. And they put a giant taco. Maybe I do like it. I don't know. It's just so yellow. Says a guy who owns a giant yellow van. Listen, go check out. I built a van. It's a giant yellow van, speaking of this. I built one to go to NASCAR races in. It's on the YouTube channel. Go check it out. It's awesome. I spent a year building it. You can watch it in 23 minutes. Speaking of people who need to find something to do with their time, we got your boy here in the 7 running the Game Bridge colors, meaning no sponsorship. Got no deal announced so far, and we got 9 races to the end of the season. I've not heard a word. That doesn't mean anything necessarily. But I don't see him getting up to New York and pulling off any new big excitement out of him. I just don't see it. Don't see it. I could be wrong. Tell me. Tell me I'm wrong. Here's his brother from another mother driving the 77. Oh, man, he got a new sponsor, Mattress Warehouse. It's a whole warehouse full of mattresses. You just go in and lay down, do whatever you want, you know. Red and white. It's a little basic, but it's something new. They're going to run it again next week on the 7 car. I can tell you that. That's going to be down at Bristol, folks. We'll be at Bristol because
it's Bristol, baby.
We're already here. We're always in Bristol. Justin and Jordan and any of the other people who haven't shown up tonight because of prior engagements. We moved the show to Thursday. I don't know if you noticed. We've been doing it since live on Wednesdays. We're going to Thursday now. What do you think about that? Is that a good thing? Bad thing? Gives us more time, get all the schemes and stuff. I like it. You know, hear me out. All right, next thing. CW on a car. Oh, the CW. Have you even watched a CW race? Anybody? One of the Xfinity races? Because they've started the last couple of weeks here, right? I didn't notice any difference, really, other than, what channel button I have to click. I like orange, I like black, but I don't know. This car just looks like very much like a video game paint scheme to me. And I did see a picture of it in the garage today, and the Mr. Tyler standing right beside of it, and his hair looks even more orange standing beside this. I don't know if that's just a filter or what, but the man looks like he's dyed his hair. Oh, Bristol starts. Okay. I thought they were coming in before the playoffs happened, like that Fox decided, or whoever was casting the X races, like backed out a few weeks early or something. But okay. So I guess that's part of the big hype up is starting next week, going to Bristol, because they're running this also on the, I believe, the 18 or the 81 in the Xfinity series. 41, you've got the Mohawk Man. Big word on the street this week. The third RFK car, number 60 most likely. Prime driver is Ryan Preece, which it kind of surprises me. Maybe we talked about this last week. He's a good driver. I bragged on him at the start of the year. I thought something good was going to happen, and even the year before, and it never has. But, that could be Stuart Haas. I don't doubt that the man has driving talent, and he's also been a partner to Chris Buescher, so and he's in the Ford camp. It's all very likely. Just seems like maybe there's a younger, upcoming guy that Brad would have went after, but maybe he wants somebody reliable to, put some finishes in. Here he is. He got beat by him, so, it's not too bad. Second week in a row, they're going all out with these pretzel bites, folks. They're all about this. It's not a bad scheme, honestly. It stands out quite a bit. I like that. I'll give him that. Here's a scheme I just don't care for. Never have. I don't know why. It needs more to it. There's just something missing. And, again, just telling me go get fuel, that just seems pointless to me. Go get fuel. I'm not going to go get fuel until I need fuel. Why even waste my time? I'm not just out like, what's up, girl? You want to go buy a gallon? We ain't going to do that. That's ridiculous. If I need fuel, I'll go buy it, but not until then. Speaking of which, same thing, same principle.
Bing bang.
Doesn't make any sense. You've got Focused Health. Am I going to really pick a hospital? I don't know. Oh, I'll tell you what. Oh, look at this. New, updated, bin bone scheme for Michael this week. I saw it earlier, obviously, but I didn't realize what in the world the pink striped thing on the hood was. I just thought it was some kind of blob coloring. I'm realizing now it's a pig, like a bacon-colored pig. So I guess they got bacon treats for your dog. Okay. I like green myself, so I'm kind of into the color, but also at the same time, it looks like a lot of crap's been crammed into the back there, the chicken and I guess that's a pig's head back there and all the minor sponsors, and it gets a little busy for me. If they could have cleaned it up a little bit, maybe. I'm interested to see what Michael can do in the 71 car. Absolutely coming up. Hey, speaking of people who had to feel like total failures this week, you got your boy, the New York living man. No, he's from Virginia. But he acts like he's, New York. He walks around. He's better than all of us. Oh, Denny Ham going with the FedEx again. I don't know what happened to him last week. He should have had a better run, and the car was off. I don't know. And then he laid back, I guess. I guess he was pulling a Dale Jr. like Dega, that last Dega Jr. had. He just kept laying back till it was way too late. Yeah, absolute trash. One. You know what? You're right. Hold on. I got that right here. Dumpster fire. 100%. Burn it down. Oh, look at this. This is absolute crap as well. I know it's a cheap store. I know it's a crappy store. I know their market, but come on, hire a graphic artist. Spend a couple dollars. Your prices are high enough. Pull off something that looks decent other than this. Every time I see it, this whole round thing over here, it's like some kind of PBS symbol to me. I hate it, everything about it, okay? This, though. This, for some reason, has caught my attention and is just amusing to me beyond belief. It's almost like a police car, and there's a cow's head, but there's a cow cartoon man in the back eating jerky, which is cannibalism. Just for the boldness of a cop car with a cow cannibalizing itself, I've got to say, I'm going to make this my rap of the week. You may say that's foolish, but man, look at it. No one else would dare to even try to pull off something like this. I salute Todd in his braveness, in his withstanding the normal status quo.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
Have you seen Bed Bath & Beyond? Did you know they're in the game? Turns out our friends at Overstock realized, wait a minute, I think they've seen the paint scheme that we've got going at Overstock. Let's change it up. Overstock bought Bed Bath & Beyond on the bankruptcy court when they were filing out because, the place is doing well, right? Why not jump in on that? You've already got a mail order business. Let's buy a retail one that is absolutely flopped and sells the same crap we do. What could go wrong? Well, they did it. And they've decided, really, we're going to get we're going to get blue. I kind of like the blue better than the red, but that's all I can say about it. It also, I don't know what's going on down there, like a snowdrift or something. Maybe that's bath salts, Bed Bath and Beyond. That's the Beyond, is the salts part. Take you beyond. Oh, look at Bubba. Listen, Mobile One doesn't make ugly schemes. It's very rare, and this is hot. It's always hot. I like the black, I like the gray, red, white, and blue. You got it all. Everyone loves it. You can't go wrong. Just give it up. Look at this. More meat. Man, there is a high selection of market that is just targeted at people going to buy meat, apparently, while they're watching the race. Kaz is back. He's got the Meat and Bone, meatandbone.com. I went and looked at it when he first got this sponsor. I'm going to tell you, from what I can see, they just send you giant parts of animals, not really cut into too many things, which makes me wonder, am I paying, weight on these bones that are being shipped to me? Am I paying weight for, how much the cow weighs? I'm getting this much meat. You're throwing these bones in on me. It doesn't sound like a great idea. Let me tell you what does sound like a good idea. And that is for you to simply tell us in the comments who wins this week. If you do it, you win your choice of sizes, of small, medium, large, maybe extra large. I don't know. We could have bigger ones, whatever. Of both of these shirts, and maybe a mystery third or fourth item. You never know. All you've got to do is pick the correct winner in the comments wherever you're watching, such as Facebook or on the YouTubes or even the Twitter. No, we got rid of Twitter. They wanted to charge money. Twitch, yes, we're still streaming on Twitch. Anyway, we're giving away free stuff. All you got to do is pick the winner, folks. You just got to put it in there. Kyle Larson, I'm seeing people picking already. That's a smart pick, absolutely. Let me tell you who's not going to win. That's your boy in the 21. Little Jeff. Doing fine. Got a good career. Supposedly he's in talks to pull off some other people, some other rides. I don't think it's going to be Cup myself, unless maybe the front row deal got weird with Zane Smith trying to go over there. It's a possibility. At least they're not running in the red and white this week. They got the Freightliner again, the Tron paint scheme. Oh, look, it's SVG, the man from down under. The man who's leading the points in the X Series, multiple wins. This dude's about to win an X title, folks. That's kind of big. That's huge. You know, you go down to Australia. He's won 3 championships down there. He's basically Jeff Gordon of Australia and just said, forget all y'all. I'm going to America. It's great. It's wonderful. America's best, right? You got to get up there. And, boy, he's pulling off some stuff. You got to give it to him. I think the dude's seriously going to be a contender to win some races. Oh, speaking of somebody who could not contend, whose career needs to be monitored at the local hospital as much as possible, everyone's last place pick on a weekly average, it is your man. It is John Hunter Nemechek. I am not saying that John Hunter's that terrible a driver. I'm not saying Legacy Motor Club sucks terribly.
You're the boss, Jimmy. I'm the boss.
But something's very wrong, and something needs to change. Can Jimmy fix it? I don't even know if he can, honestly. It's a hard thing to pull these things out. I don't know if they can pull it off. And another one? Really? Another one. Could even take one of each, folks. We're going to double Bed Bath & Beyond. There's no need to mix it up. Don't let the spotters have any break, okay? Let's get 2 cars, put them out, looks the same. Studies show that having 2 cars in the race that have the same paint scheme does not increase people's likelihood to come to your store, your site, whatever, or retain information about it. They are throwing money away. That's all it is. They're just throwing it away. The money is absolute.
The money ain't no but garbage.
Garbage. Oh, Seabell, good pick. You can't go wrong with Seabell. He's underrated. Hey, 19. On his last time around, folks. He's done with it. He doesn't want to be here anymore, I don't think. He's over it. He wishes the season's over. Maybe it's just me. He doesn't seem the same as he normally does during the playoffs. I think he knows he's not going to keep advancing. I think he knows like something is going to go wrong and he's not going to make it to the Final Four. Or maybe he just doesn't care because it's the last year. But he's definitely upset inside the car and with the team. And I don't think that's going to produce many good things for him. So let's move on. 17, always absolutely hot. Oh, my goodness. You can't go wrong building submarines. Never once. It's impossible. Oh, your baby boy is back. It's Big Kyle Larson. Cash Money himself. Going to drive the same car he's ever drove for the entire time he's been in the 5 car almost. It's absolutely ridiculous. Rick, please do something. Switch it up just a little bit. Just give us something to see this week, Rick. Hey, everybody, the last man in the playoffs, I was going to say everybody's first pick to drop out of the playoffs, last man in the playoffs. They would call it a fluke. They would say he is the Jeremy Mayfield of today. I think he's a great driver. He's going to win a lot of races in the 19, honestly. Stuart Haas is in the process of shutting down. It would be a miracle if they could win a cup. It would be a miracle if they could make the Final Four. It's possible, but I'm not holding my breath. I wouldn't put my money on it if I were you. Oh, look who's back. Look at this boy.
What the hell is that?
Go Bowling. You know, typically was a sponsor normally for the man in the 10, a big ham salad. He's driving it in the Xfinity, Eric Almirola, that is. But A.J. Allmendinger coming in the 13. Folks, I don't know that A.J.'s going to win the race, but I would put money down that he won a stage. How about that? He's going to run up front. He's going to kick some butt. He's got these bowling pins on here. He's ready to go. The name of the race is the Go Bowling. He's got Go Bowling. It's set up just to be a storied, what's the football movie that has the guy, that overcomes it? I can't even think of his name. All right, it doesn't matter now. Oh, the 50. The 50's back. Denny's third car for next year, which will be the 67 most likely. They're only running the 50 this year because it's the 50th anniversary of Mobile One. And on the entry form, it's listed as 150, meaning someone else actually has rights to the number 50 car at this time that is not using it. Rudy, there you go, Chris. Yeah, you got it. I knew somebody got to know movies, right? So Juan Pablo Montoya, who in the crap thought?
I'm not a robot. I'm a human.
Who would predict this? Who could have the insight to see Juan Pablo Montoya show back up after this long? Don't get me wrong. Both the co-hosts who are MIA tonight, they were huge Juan Pablo fans when he was racing, both of them. It was the weirdest thing. But here he is. And honestly, I think he could win a stage or something. The 60 cars won a stage, a couple other of the open cars. Juan Pablo won in a cup car here at Watkins Glen. I think that's one reason he's back here rather than anywhere else. But, man, Mobile won again. Here, take a side look at it. Look at that. Oh, my gosh. The gold. It's just the gold and black. Oof. That's expensive, you know? And that's it. That takes us through the entire field. 38 cars going out this week. Again, folks, tell me in the comments who you think's going to win. I'm going to tell you what I think's going to happen. I think there's one clear winner based on the stats of everything that we have seen out of this gen of car and racers and coming up in the last few years, and I'm not going to beat around the bush with you. Kyle Larson's going to be a contender to blow everyone away in this. Kyle Larson has won 2 of the last 3 at Watkins Glen, with his teammate in the 24 winning the other one. That stable, that house knows what they're doing. This is going to come down the line, and listen, if you bet against Kyle Larson on anything, I'm sorry. The man, he's got all the talent. He just loads it up, every bit of it. And so it's hard to argue with me there. But you can. Please do. I have no idea more than you do. Look, let me tell you about this. If you haven't subscribed, if you haven't been a follower on the YouTubes or the Facebookles, look at here. We're giving away stuff. We barely have any followers. You know, it's hard. It's a big world, a big technology world. There's a lot of people out there with eyes competing for different things. So we don't have many. But look, we've got prizes. See that giant taco? That's a piñata signed by Suarez himself. Down there's a photo of Kyle Busch, that came out of the Hendrick Museum. Hendrick's Museum itself, that photo hung there. Once they fired Kyle Busch, they said, you know, we probably shouldn't have photos of him hanging up in the shop anymore. And that makes sense for a marketing purpose. But I got them, and they're here. You can have one of them. How do you do it? All you have to do is be a follower, subscriber. We'll give them away. When we hit those numbers, we're going to randomly generate something, pick one of them, and boom, mail it right out to you. We would love for you to have it, folks. It's been a quick one tonight because I don't have anybody with me to talk to me and distract me or stop me from whatever random distraction rant I went on. I appreciate those of you who tuned in this week and talked with me. Leave in the comments, please, who's going to win, folks. I want to give out free stuff. We haven't had anybody win in weeks. Let me mail you something, please. I'm trying to give you a gift. Please be a good host and accept this perfect gift, okay? All right, folks, I love every one of you. I appreciate you watching this more than you can ever imagine. Hit us up. Look for us if you're down at Bristol. We'll be there filming live, folks. Have a good one.